Hey everybody, I'm Cahlen, and I had one of my patrons request a video. I talked in a previous video where I showed it. This is a Chromebook. So this is a Chromebook is like a laptop which runs an operating system made by Google called Chromium, or maybe that's not right, ChromeOS or something like that. Anyways, so this here is a Chromebook which has that operating system removed from it and has Linux or Ubuntu more specifically installed on it. So before I dive into the advantages of the operating system Linux or all the different variations there, let's look at the actual benefits of this specific laptop. This is a Samsung Chromebook Pro. It's a kind of an expensive end Chromebook. You can get Chromebooks for pretty cheap. So I don't necessarily recommend getting something like this. This is just what I ended up having. But it does have some nice features. So one of them is it has a pen. So it's kind of like a Note, the Samsung Note phones, except just a really big screen. It has a USB-C on both sides, so you can charge this. Because it's USB, I can charge it using my USB solar charger when I'm out in the wilderness. I don't need to use an adapter that plugs into a house or anything like that. So that's a big benefit. And I can plug in to a power source on one side, and then I can plug into my phone on the other side, which charges my phone also, or allows my phone and the laptop to talk to each other. Let's see, any other benefits here? It's really lightweight. It's thin, compact. It fits in my backpack. It has a touchpad and a keyboard, and it feels pretty comfortable. And then, basically you have everything that you need in the software. So the nice thing about Linux is that it is largely open source. In fact, I would say most things that you will going to download onto your Linux are going to be open source just because of the way it works, or at least there are open source versions of most applications that you would want available for Linux. So for example, if you want Photoshop, you can use GIMP. GIMP is a free open source application which is very similar to Photoshop. If you want to do video editing, you can use Cahlen Lee, or there's actually several others. So basically anything that you can think of pretty much that's out there on like a Windows or Mac machine, you can get it for Linux, except you can get it for free, and it's open source. Open source means that you can go and look at the code, meaning you can know if anyone's doing anything shady with your information and that type of stuff. And it also means if you know how to code, you can modify all of the software to meet your personal needs. So if having basically a Linux laptop that's nice and compact and portable, and it's also another nice thing is that it has solid state drives, which means that there's no moving parts in this thing, so it's going to last longer. Also, I forgot to mention I can put a SD card in here up to like hundreds of gigabytes, so you can have a fairly large storage, and you can also take them in and out and do things like that. And I bet you, I don't know for sure, but I bet you at some point Chromebooks are going to have SIM cards. It's like a big cell phone basically. So anyways, if this is something that you want to do, and I definitely recommend it because I do not trust the companies who make the other proprietary operating systems. If you want to do that, I recommend going to GalliumOS's website. I'll leave a link in the description. And basically, if you don't already have a Chromebook, you can go through, there's a list of supported Chromebooks and the various problems that they might have, and many of them don't have any problems, they just work kind of perfectly. So buy one of those. So look into those ones, buy that, and then set up GalliumOS on that operating system. And Gallium is just Ubuntu, but using a kind of a minimized thing, so it doesn't do flashy things, so it doesn't take up so many resources because the Chromebooks tend to be kind of light in the hardware. But again, I do video editing, and that's pretty intense stuff, so you can do a lot with these things. And if you already have a Chromebook and you want to see if you can turn it into a Linux machine, then you just look at that list and you'll be able to find your Chromebook there, and if you're lucky, it'll already work perfectly. So basically each machine's going to have its own instructions on what to do, and it's going to basically involve installing some different drivers on your machine. And then you can either set it up so that you have Chrome OS and Linux basically, and you can switch between them, right, depending on which one you want to use at a certain point. And you might want to do that. I personally prefer to go with the option where I just get rid of Chrome OS and all I have is Linux. So that's my laptop that has Linux on it. I really love this thing. It's really nice for, I help people make websites and things like that, and I tend to do a lot of my stuff on my phone, but there are certain things where it's really nice to have a laptop. So I'm glad I have this thing. If you have questions about like specific software, I can make videos specifically about that. For example, the video editing software, just let me know. I probably will do it eventually anyways, but if you ask about a specific thing, I will do it more sooner. Is that it's more sooner? So anyways, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll share it with someone that you care about. It helps them, it helps me, and it'll help you feel like a healthy type of person. If you're feeling extra generous, you can head on over to cahlen.org/gift, and there you can basically learn of ways to help me feed myself, shelter myself, and to upgrade and repair my gear. All donations give you the option of having a 1-hour life coaching call with me. So thanks again for watching.